okay. Yeah, another big question I have, just to like get this out of the way, is that how do you inhale footstool optimally again? Because even there's a list of characters that I know like inhale footstool always works on, but then sometimes they footstool me instead, even though I'm mashing jump. I don't know like why that happens.
So, hold up. Could you say that again?
Sure. Like, how do you inhale footstool without getting reverse footstool? Like, do you mash jump after the foot? I mean, after they like escape out of Kirby, or
Do you want to see what my inputs look like
yeah,
after
sure.
this match, or do you want just SD right now? And all right,
I can see it right
up to
now,
you.
honestly.
All right, choose a character that gets inhale footstool. I don't know. Do what's a good character to do? Do Joker. Screw it. Do Joker.
I don't have Joker, sorry.
You're good. Just do. Oh wow. I am blanking. I should know what the characters are.
Would Fox be one? Or
No,
just...
Fox isn't one.
Oh, okay.
Let me look at the roster because for some reason I need it. Choose like someone like Link or Ike.
Link.
Ike is a funny one.
Okay.
I like Ike a lot.
Yeah, honestly, my main problem is that I just get reverse footstool, like even with the characters that should like never do that. So I'm not sure why. So I just want to learn like how you do it.
Alright, so I'm doing it on the easiest stage to show you like two things.
Okay.
Alright. Sheik. I forgot Sheik exists. Alright, so I'm gonna just push you over here. And you're gonna mash out, alright?
Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay, so, oh man, okay, an ad just appeared on your channel, but what I think I saw is that you didn't mash jump, is you kind of waited for me to mash out first, and then you jumped on me. Is that
For the
right?
most part, I just mash jump. If you look at the clip of it, I am pressing the X button consistently.
Oh, so you are, okay.
But it doesn't matter if I like were to consistently wait for it or just wait for you to jump like mash out, as long as I know when you mash out. So here's two things. On Kalos, because it has a wall, it's really easy to inhale footstool. If I get you and you're facing if I'm facing towards the wall, then I remove options from you. So earlier you said something. You said to me, how do you inhale footstool without getting footstool back? And I have an answer for you. Some characters you can't footstool because they have specific gravity plus false. Some characters cannot be inhaled to footstool because they have a really good gravity plus fast fall speed, and by that I literally just mean either they're too fast, like they have too much gravity and too much fall speed, or they don't have enough, where they're really floaty, basically. So,
okay.
Do you know what fall speed is? Well, of course you do. It's just how fast I can fall. Not fast fall speed, just how fast I can fall.
Oh, okay.
Fast fall speed's different. That's when I actually start fast falling. But there's also gravity. Do you know what gravity is in this game?
No, not technically.
Alright.
No.
So just do a double jump. And don't fast fall. Just do a double jump and fall. So you see how you like start speeding up after a little bit?
Right.
Like you start going faster downwards. You reach a terminal velocity downwards. Terminal velocity in this game for like downwards is either your fall speed or your fast fall speed. That's the maximum terminal velocity you can fall downwards. And now fast fall it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the maximum like velocity you can fall. Gravity is how fast you get to that maximum velocity.
Oh, okay.
So if somebody just like randomly were to fall off the ledge, how fast do they reach their fall speed, like their maximum fall speed? or have their maximum fast fall speed, I guess. But
Right.
yeah, no, gravity does that part. If they have enough,
Okay.
if they have a specific, I guess, golden zone, like a freaking Goldilocks and the Three Bears, if they have a golden zone where their gravity and fast fall speed line up perfectly to where they spawn out of inhale and then they immediately just start falling down below Kirby. Because I need you to realize something. Look at this. Look at Ike. Look at Ike. Did you see his release animation after my grab?
Yeah.
That's a grab release animation. Now look at this. Do you notice something? They're pretty similar, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's because when you get released from inhale, normally you just have a grab release animation.
Oh, because inhale is a command grab, so
Yes.
it still works the same way.
Yes. So they spawn
Okay.
at the same place. Well, in theory, they spawn around the same height. Like, look at my stream right now. They spawn around the same height, right?
Right.
But then, it's +/-0. You know how shield for me.
Okay.
You know how negative down tilt is or something like that? Doesn't matter really. But negative moves on shield just mean that you have the ability to act before me, right?
Right.
+/-0 from inhale release literally just means that we have the ability to act on the same frame.
So, wait, so that means that when they escape, we
Both
don't
of
have
them
the
can act on the
magic
same
over them.
frame. No, both of us can act on the
Okay.
same frame. Here's where it starts getting really jank. Both of us have the ability to act on the same frame. But, like I said earlier, if their gravity and fast fall speed made it so that they are, like, spawn in the same place and then just immediately start falling beneath Kirby to where Kirby is above them and can footstool them, let's say on the same frame, because it's +/-0, I mash the footstool button and you mash the up B button. What do you think is going to happen?
Maybe I up you first?
No, footstool always
No.
wins.
Oh,
Footstool
okay.
will always win in that interaction specifically. If on the same frame we both pressed it, I guess frame 0, it never comes out. And footstool animation, you get footstooled. Now, here's
Okay.
where it gets really complex. Because I need you, after you mash out, just hold forward. No, oh frick.
Oh.
Alright, so mash out and hold forward.
Mash out and hold forward. Okay.
So, after the opponent gets out of the, like, actual footstool, not footstool, inhale, depending on how much like, a character's air acceleration, you know, how fast you can reach terminal velocity horizontally,
Right.
they can drift more or less left and right. So, you have, as the opponent, the ability to counteract the inhale footstool by kind of making the Kirby guess in a game of rock, paper, scissors. That's what inhale footstool is. It's rock, paper, scissors. Because they can drift forward.
Oh.
They can do no drift, or they can drift backwards, and you have to read their drift. If you read their drifting forward, and they drift backwards, when you escape inhale, when they escape inhale and they're drifting forwards and you're drifting backwards, you're not going to be above them to footstool them in that frame. So they're going to have the advantage, and you're not going to be able to footstool them. But let's say I'm like, he's in my inhale, and I'm like, he's going to drift backwards, and I read he drifts backward, and I start drifting backwards, and he drifts backwards when we release. I'm above him all of a sudden because I drifted backwards, so I footstool him.
Oh, okay. So that's...
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, there's also some really complicated, weird stats we looked up, because we looked a lot. Okay. I tested every single character in the game for which characters are inhale, footstool, true combos. There are some really weird things, like there's a decay effect, where specific large, like really large characters will spawn behind Kirby after the inhale release animation, specifically when they're facing towards a wall, because the game's like, oh shoot, if we release them now, they're going to get released into the wall, so the wall kind of blocks them because they're so big, and they get released behind Kirby. The only two characters with that notable effect are Ridley and DK, and then there's another weird effect, which is, I don't understand this one, Falcon. Falcon's... Oh, I think I do understand this one. Falcon has a really good grab release animation. I think Falcon has the best grab release animation in the game. Because when Falcon gets released from grab, he actually lurches backwards for some reason.
Oh.
So during that animation, he goes backwards for some reason. So whenever Falcon drifts forward, his animation brings him even more forward. And you can't footstool Falcon. You can't true footstool inhale Falcon if he drifts forward. You can true footstool inhale him if he drifts backwards or doesn't drift at all, though.
Oh.
And there are very specific characters like Shulk who have a move like Monado Arts. You know how Jump Monado makes your terminal velocity, like your fall speed and your fast fall speed, faster?
Yeah.
It actually makes it so fast that you can't true inhale footstool him. Same with Heroes Accelerado. There's also one character in the game that has a really weird instance of this. You know how Wii Fit has deep breathing?
Yeah.
Deep breathing actually... What the hell? Deep breathing actually increases your fall speed.
Oh. Yeah, I think it does feel like it increases it.
Yeah, it increases it by a little bit. And normally, Wii Fit's really floaty. So when it increases it by that little bit, Wii Fit Trainer cannot be true inhale footstool. But if Wii Fit Trainer has deep breathing on, then she can now be footstooled. Like, she can now true inhale footstooled. That's now a combo. Only on deep breathing.
Only on deep breathing. Okay. And you tested all this?
I tested all of them for 18 hours. I worked on this for 18 hours as a project that I wanted to do. I also discovered some other weird stuff, like, in the small chance of, like, some very specific things happening. I discovered a true inhale footstool setup on few characters, and I realized another thing. Roy is garbage. When he gets out of the inhale footstool animation, his air acceleration doesn't kick in fast enough, and so he doesn't get much air acceleration at all, and he just kind of stays in a very small place, making him easier to footstool than other characters.
Okay.
Basically, it's less like rock, paper, scissors, and more like rock and paper. If you drift forward, it's basically the same thing as, like, barely drifting none. And it's this really weird interaction. Also, on walls, serve specific characters by spacing yourself a specific distance against the wall. Specific characters will always get released directly onto a wall. And Kirby will always be able to just go forward and footstool them. And that's a true inhale setup on walls. And then there's there's this weird instance. There's some weird instances of stuff. Because we did the mathematics for it. To find out which characters could get inhale footstooled by math. And I had a friend of mine. He's a minor in math. He was taking minor in math at the time, so I had him do the math for me. And he found out that Charizard actually has an inhale, like, should be inhale footstoolable, but he's not. When I tested it, he's not. And then I realized something. Grab release animations are really stupid. There are two specific characters, Charizard and Snake. Charizard cannot get inhale footstooled even though he has proper gravity, because during his grab release animation, Charizard's neck goes up. So his head is above Kirby when he releases from inhale, but his body is below Kirby. It's just his neck is so big, he can't be inhale footstooled.
Wow, okay, that's
and then
funny.
Snake, in theory, is the hardest character to inhale footstool in the game, because according to our math, he cannot be inhale footstooled. But the reason is really weird. Even though his stats say he can't be inhale footstooled, he can be. Because his grab release animation actually has him ducking down. So when he releases from Kirby's grab, from his inhale, he's actually ducking down. And even though he didn't fall faster, his animation literally just puts him below Kirby because he's ducking down.
Okay.
And then there's the weirdest instance of all. Fox. Fox cannot be true inhale to footstool because he falls too fast. When he gets out of inhale, he falls so fast that by the time both of us are able to act, we're not able to footstool him because he's so far below us. But if he jumps, we can footstool that easy. It puts him in a bad position regardless, and that's why I use it sometimes against Fox. Same thing with Ninja. And Mewtwo has a weird grab release animation, if I remember right. Although it's not a true combo, it is a really weird grab release animation. It's not a true combo, it's just odd. It puts him in a position
more complicated than I imagined.
It puts him in a position I don't fully understand yet. I deserve that. So yeah, that's that.
Oh shit. Okay, so that kind of explains why there was this Fox on the lead. I was always trying to inhale footstool, but then I could never get it, and then I probably memorized the roster wrong. And so, yeah, okay, but I think next time, so when you do inhale footstool, do you usually do fast fall there? Or do you kind of jump up first and then wait for them to recover and then do
Depends on the character's recovery a lot. There are certain characters that if they lose their jump from in hits, like, let's say I take their jump and then I just inhale footstool them, they can't recover. A lot of them don't have enough good, like, a good enough recovery to do that. There's some characters, let's say if they still have their jump, I'll go down for like a downer or something. And then there are characters that just, like, they have a really good recovery, so you have to downer them no matter what.
Okay.
Like, Joker has a really good recovery, so you have to be ready to downer his uppie.
Okay, so kind of do it immediately.
It just depends on how good the recovery is and how many resources they have left. And that's what I'll, like, take off of and be like, okay, they have this many resources left, and they have this much possibility to actually get back. Did you know Little Mac has the best wall jump in the game?
Little Mac? Really?
Little Mac has the best wall jump in the game. Anybody wondering, okay, JeJa, what do you mean by that? Like in frame data? Like, nah. His wall jump goes the highest of any character. He has the single highest going wall jump in the game. Little Mac.
But
the character
use the wall jump, right?
Huh?
Do they ever use wall jump?
Yes! They do! I suck. I remember. I was money matching. Oh yeah, I was money matching. I was money matching Peanut at Genesis, and I suck and cucked him, and he mashed out really fast, and I'm like, oh, he can't recover from that, and then he wall jumps, and I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot I forgot he has that.
Okay.
So I just go back and I kill them. Like every time I do that to Little Mac for the most part, if there's a wall, I go back and kill them. If there's not a wall, I don't worry.
Okay. Huh.
That's another resource you have to think of. If you're on a walled stage, does this character have a wall jump? Is a question you should be asking yourself. Because if the answer is yes, they have a better chance of making it back than you think.
Right.
Unless it just straight up kills them. I love the fact that Little Mac is the best freaking wall jump in the game. It's so funny. Nobody ever expects it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like I said, I don't think I've ever seen... Well, I've never played a good so much, never, but...
Alright, so, any more questions then? Because I know you have